Hey guys, Andy at The Skin Deep here. If you love the experience of the and want to try it in the comfort of your own home, we have our handy dandy The And card game available at theskindeep.com/shop so you can play with your loved ones. Enjoy.
What do you remember from the first time we met?
I remember I got to the restaurant first, but I wasn't waiting long, and I was really nervous. And when you came in, it was really weird because usually on first dates, I feel like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so awkward. Yeah. You know, I don't know what to talk about next, like all those questions going through your head. And when you sat down in front of me, like that just all disappeared, and I've never had that happen to me before. But I just remember it being so comfortable, and I just never felt immediately so comfortable with somebody.
I feel like it took me a couple dates for me to just be like completely relaxed, even though I was really relaxed with you. I was like, I do not want to fuck this up.
I was more nervous for a second date because I was
could tell.
Okay, the first date was so good that I don't want to be like disappointed on the second date.
I could just tell you were nervous. You had like nervous energy, but I think it just like went away.
Yeah, once we start talking, it just goes away.
Totally.
How do you describe me to others?
I don't know. I feel like I don't really have to describe you to people. I feel like everyone already knows you, but just from my energy, you make me so happy. So I feel like it's not a lot of words can describe how I feel about you and describe you in general. So I feel like my energy just tells people I'm crazy about you.
Happy.
Describe the first moment you knew that I loved you.
I feel like there was many moments, but I feel like when we took our trip to Montreal and we were driving in my car, we had the top down in my convertible, and it was just perfect weather, and we were coming back from an amazing dinner, and it was the end of our trip. And I don't know, I saw you looking at me, and it was like, wow, I really feel this love right now, you know, and I felt like it just built up after that. Every time we saw each other after that trip, it really just heightened until it came to a head, and we finally were like, I love you.
Yeah, I feel like Montreal was definitely a big moment in our relationship, like, but I feel like when I brought you home to Ohio to meet my family, like you were in like my world for the first time, and like you met like my friends that I did an intern in New York with, and that really like set the tone, like, oh, this is real, like this is not a dream, like I'm in love with Jackie. Like that was probably like the most pivotal moment for me.
Who has more power in our relationship, and why?
I'd like to think it's equal. I feel like we do have a good balance. I feel like this past semester, it really checked me, like, oh, like, Jackie has like too much power over your emotions. Like you need to like chill out and like focus on other things other than Jackie, basically. So I feel like this time around, for some reason, I feel more powerful in the relationship. Not more powerful over you, but I feel like I have more like power in myself, basically. And like there's things that, I don't know, I don't really regret last semester. Like I feel like it strengthened us. It really made me think a lot about this relationship and like my relationship with myself and like other people. But even though I love you so much, like I know it's important to put myself first, and I know you do the same. And I always felt like you did that like before last semester. So I feel like we did need last semester to like make this even more powerful than it is. I don't know. This goes hand in hand. What's the greatest lesson I taught you?
I feel like that really goes into me coming out and like fully, because when we met, I was only half out, like to people who are important to me and like my mom and sister, but like not to like everyone.
Yeah.
And I feel like you gave me like that confidence to just like own it and not care. You know, you were there with me every step of the way, and I feel like that was a huge lesson in my life, you know, is just owning who I am.
And it was a huge honor for me to like be that person for you to bring home, because I know it's a big deal. So I'm like so happy I was able to like see you do that journey, because that was all you. That had nothing to do with me.
I know, but you were like my cheerleader.
I was a cheerleader.
What are you hesitant to tell me?
What am I hesitant to tell you? I really do not like distance. I'm glad I do distance with you, because I do feel like our communication is really strong, but I'm sometimes hesitant to describe that, like, you know, I'm not so happy when we have to do long distance. Like, it is really hard for me, because I feel like we both have to be strong for each other, especially because, like, you're going to Asia, and, like, we've done long distance when it's, like, Ohio, New York. Like, Asia's, like, far, obviously.
Yeah.
So...
I know, and that's like coming up in a few weeks, and I'm definitely hesitant to talk about it because I don't want to put a buzzkill on our time here in New York together, because it really is so special and sacred when we do have the opportunity to be in the same city. It's hard to talk about, but at the same time, I feel confident in us because we have had our little previews of long distance that is hard, but not as hard as what we're about to.
And I feel like this is the first time I'm so confident in our connection, where it's like, if you had to go to Antarctica for 7 years, I'd be like, okay, then we'll find each other in 7 years. Like, there's no doubt in my mind about that. So this is like the first time where I'm like, yeah, she's going to Asia, she's going to kick ass, like, we're going to do it. Like, it's not like, don't talk about it, like, I have to spend every waking moment with you. Like, I don't feel like that. And I feel like that's really healthy to feel like.
Yeah, especially since I feel like we've fallen into that trap before, being like, oh my gosh, we only have like a month left together, let's spend every single waking moment. Yeah. You know, which I feel in the long run wasn't the best thing, you know? And I feel like when we're apart, it kind of gives us a nice like reset.
Totally.
Like we're able to like reassess ourselves, reassess our friends, our lives, and it gives us the opportunity to really work on those areas that might have been neglected when we're together, and then when we are together again, to like have that in our minds and like keep growing in all these different realms. Yeah. You know?
And it's kind of nice because like I can like live at school. It's not like, oh, like, I mean, you're obviously still like a big part of my life when we're not together, but like I'm like, oh, I can literally like live in my studio all night. Like, it's not like I have to like get dinner with Jackie and like come back, like whatever. Like, it's long distance kind of like motivates me, especially like finding like a good internship, like whatever. I'm like, I need to do well, like for myself, and also like then I can like see Jackie and like I can go out, whatever.
Definitely.
Why do you love me? You were just talking about this.
Why do I love you? I can literally say anything. There's so many reasons why I love you. You can make me laugh the hardest out of everybody I know. You really bring out the best in me, Abby. I'm serious. Like, I feel like the best in myself when I'm with you. You know, you're my best friend. And I just feel like I can take on the world with you. I do.
Good.
And you've been so patient with me and me trying to discover who I am. And that love that I feel from you when I was doing that meant the world to me. Sorry, I'm like emotional.
It's okay.
But I feel like I can't even put it in one answer to reduce it. I just can't.
I love you so much.
I love you.
Hey guys, Nick from The Skin Deep to tell you that if you want to help us make more videos, you can do so by checking out our Patreon page and supporting our work. It's theskindeep.com/Patreon. Thanks.